And so, since I am unable to be employed and I am physically disabled, she says, Torrington, that imposing a financial penalty for mother's violations would only be a detriment to the child's well being and would compromise his housing and nutritional stability. Thomas agrees that any financial sanction would preclude the minor child from having his most basic needs met while in mother's home. Spoiler alert, my child support got hacked by 86%. That would be a financial penalty, and that would be a huge detriment to the minor child's well being, and most certainly compromises his housing, but not his nutritional stability, as I will not be able to move us to our new home on $50 a month, but we've got food stamps coming out our ears. So I can feed us, but I can't, I could pay the bills with TANF. But we're stuck in this ghetto until the Bloods kill us, or Stetzer kills us, or this visitation Nazi just comes to my home and steals my son. Torrington lies again on page 5 is hugely highlighted. There's something in almost every paragraph here saying that the minor child is not currently attending either school or daycare. He's back at his preschool for, the partial reopening. They have reduced class sizes and all that with a priority towards special needs children, as my son is. Because keeping him in isolation at home is a war flashback to our time in Stetzer slavery hell, where we were locked in the home until Aaron beat the crap out of me, and then old Massa took him to the park or to McDonald's or to get him a toy. That was the only time he got to go outside and be a little boy, was when he complied with Thomas Stetzer's attack training. So to isolate my son in the home again so soon after Operation Freedom was traumatic for us both. So my son needs to go to school. And in September, he'll be going to school in a one-on-one classroom. I go outside the house for groceries. My appointments are over Zoom. I still myself pretty much under lockdown. So I am limiting contamination in the Denver area as much as I possibly can while taking care of my son's needs, because he needs to go to school and he needs therapy and he needs help to overcome a lifetime of Stetzer slavery hell. His entire pregnancy with me, my pregnancy with him, we were in this together. I don't know quite how to say it from his perspective, but our shared experience in Stetzer slavery hell was from pregnancy, conception, all the way to almost 2 months before his 4th birthday last year. And to return to the same conditions because of COVID, that made it, in his mind, my fault. That was horrible to do to him. He felt trapped. I couldn't, I had to advocate for him to get into his special needs classes again. So he is in school. So for Torrington to say that he's not is an implication that I'm not taking care of him. So, moving on. Torrington says that Stetzer is currently ordered to pay $353.70 per month in child support. It was actually $357 even. And she said in the court hearings, I don't remember if it was June or July on the phone hearing, that I wasn't ordered to pay costs for visitation, but here in her printed order, it says that mother has not paid her portion of the cost associated with supervised visitation and has clearly indicated that she will continue to fail to comply. So in other words, she can't even make up her mind if I have to pay for visitation or not. So therefore, the court finds that the extraordinary cost associated with supervised parenting time for father, which the cost hasn't gone up being supervised or being outside supervised. The cost doesn't go up. At least according to the visitation, the second one, it's the same price. So the court finds all of a sudden now that the extraordinary costs associated with supervised parenting time for father make the imposition of the guideline child support amount inappropriate. To do so is to deprive the minor child of an opportunity to have a relationship with his father. So in other words, this special little boy, meaning Thomas Stetzer, not meaning my special little boy who is special in every way, but Jennifer Torrington's little pet here should not have to follow the same standards of paying his child support and paying his visitation in order to see my son. So the court now finds it would be appropriate for father to be fully responsible for the cost of off-site parenting time supervisor and to enter a downward deviation in his child support order, downward, she says downward twice, and deviation, to $50 a month. So she's making a very clear point that she wants to reduce Master Thomas Stetzer's financial responsibility to his former slaves. And downward deviation downward to $50 a month. This sounds like something President Baby Bush would have said. But that's just my opinion. So, yeah, this order is allegedly in the best interest of the minor child, given the current circumstances. And now for the parenting time, it says that he shall have parenting time once per week for up to 4 hours. That is not how they do things. Visitation starts, if you've been a good parent, at an hour a week, not 4. So, and then they have the rules like the filing, the parenting time, supervisor's info with the court, and that the supervisor shall pick up and drop off the minor child at my home. So this is a court-sanctioned home invasion and kidnapping, with the benefit going to our former owner, my rapist, who attacked me at knife point 410 times over the course of a year and 2 months. So, and then clause C here says that the father shall be responsible for all cost of the off-site parenting time supervisor. Clause D says that if mother completes her intake and pays her portion of the costs, so in other words, we're still being charged, each of us, for this visitation. So, and it goes on with phase 3, phase 2 of getting supervised in a facility, and phase 3 of getting unsupervised for 4 hours, and then unsupervised for 10 hours on Saturdays. Every single Saturday. Every single Saturday. Thomas Stetzer has an opportunity to abduct my son and disappear. Every single Saturday. He doesn't have to try and show up at my son's school and successfully take him. He just has to outpower one little counselor in a suit and just take off. He could very easily do that with the replacement knife collection that I disposed of a year ago. I'm sure he's gotten more knives since then, because it's what he does. He arms himself, and he gets his way, and he dominates, and he attacks. That's what the Stetzer family does. He's third generation, supposedly, allegedly, according to his own little stories. So, Jennifer Torrington also said there's no restriction on me as far as travel is concerned. That's a lie. It says here that if either parent is planning to travel outside of the state of Colorado during their parenting time, I shall provide location and itinerary. In other words, the entire travel plans will be going to the other parent no less than a week prior to the first day of travel through the stalking rapist chat log. So this must include the address and contact phone number of all locations where we will exercise overnight parenting time while traveling, and copies of outbound and return tickets, if any. So in other words, I need to tell him where I'll be, when I'll be, and how to get hold of them, and how to find them, and how to stalk us the entire time we're gone. We're gonna die.